right, welcome back inside our Proactive Newsroom. And joining me now is Richard Lloyd, the CEO of MINEXIA. He also has the fintech platform NR Private Markets. And Richard, great to see you. How are you?
Very well, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And also joining our conversation is Kenneth MacLeod, the CEO and president of Sonoro Metals. And Kenneth, it's great to see you as well.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you.
Rich, maybe you can just give us a quick oversight about NR Private Markets and what it is you liked about Sonoro to bring them onto the platform.
Sure. NR Private Market has been described as, I guess, sophisticated crowdfunding, for want of a better word. It's the sort of fintech version of the broker's model for raising equity, raising money for exploration and early stage sort of mine development projects. We've really developed that to have a seamless sort of and level playing field for the investors as well. And we vet the companies that come on to both the investor lounge where they up their profiles and also onto the main raising platform itself. So we're putting about 1 in 12 deals that we're seeing up onto the platform, and Sonoro Metals was one of those that made the grade, and we like it, and they're here in the investor lounge, and Ken's going to tell us all about the project and their ambitions.
Yeah, let's talk about Sonoro Metals. Ken, tell me a little bit about the company.
Yeah, Steve, of course. The company Sonoro Metals has been trading on the TSX Venture Exchange since 2012. It went public with a project in the Mulatos mining district in Sonora State, Mexico, called the Chipriona, which we sold in 2016 to Agnico Eagle for $4 million cash plus 1% net smelter returns royalty. That enabled us to finance the two main projects for the company, which is the first one being the San Marcial project, located about 20 kilometers east of the San Francisco mine in Sonora State. And the other one, which is the main focus in the past couple of years, is the Cerro Caliche project, also in Sonora State, near the town of Magdalena, about 2 hours drive south of the American border. And very well located. It's in ranch land. It's in mining territory that is surrounded by producing mines. The nearest one would be the Mercedes mine. The next door neighbor to us is the Cerro Prieto mine. And Santa Gertrudis, which was acquired by Agnico Eagle 2 years ago, is just to the north of us. So we're in a very, very happy and productive mining zone. The closest example I can provide you right now for the type of deposit that we're trying to emulate is the Mercedes mine, operated by Premier Gold, and it's 8 kilometers to the southeast of us, on strike in a very, very similar geological setting to us. And historically, the Mercedes mine operated in earlier years at on a shallow open pit heap leachable deposit, and eventually in 2005, new exploration occurred, and the Mercedes mine eventually turned into what it is today, an underground deposit that is producing, I believe, a grade of around 5 to 7 grams per ton. And so our expectation here with Cerro Caliche is historically, there's been 8 or 9 different historical mines on the property. Small mines that operated in the mid-1900s, maybe even earlier, and eventually got acquired into a single large concession by us. And we're now working on taking the initial resource that we have drilled over the past couple of years of 200,000 ounces at a grade of 0.55 grams per ton. And the intention is to obviously increase that initial resource. But the main thrust for us over the coming year will be to take the data that we've accumulated over the past 6 months and on the regional geology of the district, plus all the drilling that took place between prior operators and ourselves, and consists of over 23,000 meters of drilling. And now the focus will be on moving ahead based upon that data.
And so you've actually started, you've got the drilling program, at least the phase 1 set for this year already. Is that right?
Yes, we have the phase 1 drilling program set, and it's based upon the previous 23,000 meters of drilling that we have in our database. And then on top of that, we have conducted over 6,000 surface samples, of which 4,600 are in the database and another 1,500 are still to be verified. And the essence of it is that we have identified a zone at surface of 4 kilometers by 3 kilometers of very, very encouraging grades of between 4 grams per ton and all the way up to 95 grams per ton. So we're looking at taking that data along with all the drilling we have done, and we've now identified the targets for the deeper drilling, which we anticipate will be probably in the order of about 200 to 300 meters below the surface. And the goal of this drilling will be to identify the potential for a epithermal type system, which is commonplace in this part of northern Mexico, low sulfidation epithermal system, which will yield, which should yield much higher grades. And typically, these grades are about 10 times greater than the grades you encounter in the shallow mineralization near the surface.
Just before we wrap up, I want to ask you about San Marcial, as you talked about a little bit earlier. What's going on as far as that's concerned? Are you going to get to doing work on there this year?
In 2020, we will continue to do some additional surface sampling. Right. We have over 2,000 or 3,000 surface samples already. We have identified the drill targets for San Marcial, but it's a function of money and having sufficient money to drill both projects at the same time. Of course, over the past few years, it's been a little bit difficult to raise the capital. But as the market improves and as the gold price, it provides us with the wind at our backs, we should be able to raise sufficient capital to be able to devote some time and energy to San Marcial for 2021. And the goal of that one is to also to do a similar kind of a project to Cerro Caliche, where we go in, do additional drilling, do several thousand meters of drilling, start to identify a potential mineralization at or near surface. And the zone of mineralization at San Marcial is probably in the order of about 5 kilometers in length, and 4 or 5 very distinct southeast to northwest trending structures. And the intent is to drill all of them next year.
Okay, Ken, so a lot of investors will be looking at this going like, what have you done in the past and what's expected for the future? So maybe you can focus them a little bit on some goals that you want to achieve going forward in 2020 and beyond.
Well, I'd like to suggest that we have a 3-pronged approach to developing the project over the coming 2 years. The first is the development of the high-grade potential at depth. Now, we're not talking about tremendous depth here. We're only going below a 7,500 meter depth that we've already penetrated, and going down to between 200 and 300 meters. And the definition of the low sulfidation epithermal model that we're following suggests that we should be encountering these high grades at those relatively shallow depths. So that will be the first phase and the first most important element in our drilling strategy for the coming year. Secondly, we have already a 200,000 ounce resource already identified under a National Instrument 43-101 technical report. That enables us to start production on an initial pilot plant. And this pilot plant would go into production probably in the next 12 to 18 months, depending on how long the permitting takes, and enable us to start generating revenues, which would then be applied towards future exploration and expansion of the resource. The third element, of course, is, and it's probably one of the most exciting elements of the project as well, is the fact that we have a backstop in the fact that we have identified a potential mineralization of up to 2 million ounces in the region we're in the central part of the zone and to the northern and southern part of the zone. That it will enable us to hopefully increase the size of the shallow resource from the current 200,000 ounces and also target new areas where we could identify as much as the 100 million tons grading around the 0.5 range. And that would enable us to have a vastly larger open pit heap leach operation going that would obviously generate substantial revenue.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're going to be super busy over the next couple of years. That's for sure. And Rich, I guess that's exactly what you want to hear. That's what your platform is all about, is providing opportunity for companies like Sonoro, who, you know, on paper and through results, have some pretty good projects going.
Yeah, and it's the understanding of those projects as well. You've got to, you know, the people who analyze projects or financing projects or whatever it might be, they look at the team first. We do what we call the 4 C's. So the commodity, the country, the company, i.e. the management, the team behind it, they've been there and done it. And then the concession, which there are obviously a lot of sub-factors within that. But one of the areas that really attracted us to Sonoro was the way that they're looking at, they want to get this into production. You've got the lower grade epithermal deposit surface, and they're looking at EPC contracts to get a heap leach going, get the cash flow going, and also at the same time use their geological nous to understand the deeper structures within a classic epithermal system and drill that. So you've got the sort of dual route there, and that was really attractive to us as the platform, and you know, a company we want to support.
Well, there you go. That's good to hear. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Great to talk to you both. And Ken, good luck with everything, and look forward to hearing more about your projects in the near future.
Thank you very much. And a pleasure talking to you.
All right. That's Kenneth MacLeod, the CEO and president of Sonoro Metals. And Rich, great to see you as well. Thanks very much.
Yep. Thank you very much. Cheers, Steve.
All right. Rich Lloyd, the CEO of MINEXIA, and of course with NR Private Markets.